Okay, next, why do I make these videos? Maybe you'll be surprised, but the main purpose is not to reveal the true history. For me, the main reason is a small ritual that I made a couple of years ago. If you have heard my autobiography over there, I give details in which I requested my higher self or Lord, whatever you wish you can call it or him, to give me some sort of a role to do something for the earth, because I noticed that the situation around is pretty bad. And I was extremely surprised because after I made this very official prayer and statement in front of my altar, I started getting all these requests to make historic videos. So basically, it will be wrong to say that I make them just because I think I can uh, get straight the historic records, for the simple reason that, especially when I started, I thought it would have been a laughable idea for me to consider that I have the qualifications to do so. And in the beginning, I took it very casually. Only later on, when I realized that each of my videos is watched by thousands of people, I understood that this is responsibility. And also, as I started looking into what's going on in this field of alternative history, I understood that I was wrong. In when I started, of course, I thought this is not for me. I'm not a historian. I mean, I don't know much about history. Yes, I certainly have. I always had interest in these things, and I was reading and watching stuff. But as far as revealing the actual history, I thought this is for people who have studied history for many years and people who are able to devote more time in their lives to such a cause. But then I understood this is a misconception, because looking at the current historic moment and understanding why actually the true historic records have been hidden, and why people are allowing to be deceived in such a way, I understand that the problem is completely different. And the main qualifications for somebody who will be able to reveal at least some aspects of the true history would be a completely different set of skills, like being able to aid people who want to change their perception of reality for the better, of course, in my case. And because that is done by setting a personal example of how I use my own ability to be flexible enough to shift between paradigms, and especially radically different paradigms, which to most people nowadays it cannot be even explained, because they can't even imagine that in a couple of years they could change for the better, of course, their perception of what reality is completely. They are so much anchored in this misconception that things that they believe in are the actual absolute truth rather than their ideas about it. They're to such an extent cemented in it that they believe that no other dimension of existence can be there anyway to change to. So, what's the point of talking about it, even from their point of view? And in addition to that, they are heavily anchored by stupid pride, which has been cultivated in us since childhood by movies, by copying the behavior of other people. When we are wrong about something, we have this automatic reaction to feel bad about it, or even get angry at the person or event who reveals that to us, and just react, oh, are you gonna tell me that I'm wrong? Or it can make us depressed realizing that we're wrong, while in reality a much healthier reaction to understanding that we've been terribly wrong is to be happy about it, because finally we can start improving. But we don't do that. So the main thing is that to find out the true history, it's not just a question of changing the record of what events occurred when exactly. I'm getting more and more convinced, especially lately, that it will involve even a revision of our understanding about time. And that's only one thing. It is the most difficult, but it's one. There are other um obstacles which would prevent so-called normal standard people to even research the real history. And these are all kinds of beliefs, like, for example, it has been become like a standard to believe nowadays that if something something in history can make you feel proud because you belong to a particular nation or particular race, and if you start promoting that as real history, you're doing something patriotic, or you're doing a good thing. In reality, if you allow yourself to be biased in such a way, you're just deceiving yourself, because the current countries are nothing else but boundaries drawn on a map by the parasites with the purpose to make people, kill and hate each other and create conflict, distract attention from the real task for which we were born. So in the beginning, I simply thought that I'm the wrong person for what I've been doing, making videos about the true history, but gradually I realized this is not exactly true, because I have to some extent the most important qualifications, and that is flexibility. I'm capable of changing my entire belief system, resetting it. I did it few times in my life and I survived it. Also, the modern perception of how historic events take place, what are they caused by, is very naive and childish, because the astral strings of karma, which are the underlying force which makes things happen, that's ignored completely whenever its influence is clearly visible. It is just classified as luck, yeah, destiny. And then people are already trained to believe that this is an area that is speculative, should not be discussed, cannot be changed. Well, none of this is true. So the other qualification I have for making these videos, I'm not afraid to dive into the astral. And that's exactly where we should dive if we want to find the root cause for the events that we call history. Well, I'm nowhere near being an expert diver in the astral worlds, but that's another point. I know people who are far superior in terms of diving skills, but they simply don't seem to be interested in making videos about the true history, so I don't know, it seems nobody else wants to make it. So my guardian spirits and the great spirit of the Amazon, ayahuasca, decided, okay, so when we don't have the right person, let's choose the best out of the worst that we have. Maybe somebody can volunteer. And at the end, I just want to include a short remark about the techniques, meditation techniques, for out of body experiences, perceptions, downloading information. Such techniques are not only great fun, but also they are valuable tool for learning about the history and everything else. But they should not be taken as techniques of spiritual development for sure. Like, for example, a shaman who is very expert in traveling to various dimensions, talking with beings from over there, coming back, interacting with other worlds, but he's into black magic. What's the use of his skills if he's not using this current life to develop good qualities, which is the main purpose for which we get born? Or let's take a more modest example. A normal person, normal according to modern standards, he or she got born to develop the qualities of kindness, and compassion towards the people around. But he or she is not doing that, and instead, few hours per day, he or she tries to exercise flying out of the body techniques. That could be actually going in the wrong direction because we got born into a body not to learn how to get out of the body, but how to play the theater situation into which the given body got born, and play such a role in this theater that we develop the qualities which have been set as a target for the given incarnation. Not that developing extra skills is bad or useless, it is good, but only as long as it doesn't deviate you from the main purpose of your life.